I just want to invite you on a little experiment with me. I'm having a day where I have a lot of creative resistance, and I'm thinking a lot about everyone has more resistance, right? I've been holding space and mentoring creative people in pursuing their dreams, like getting to the next level with their dreams, making things happen. I've been doing this work for a very long time. Resistance has always been a part of it. It's natural. It's not. I always try to talk a lot about how it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you because we tend to feel alone in the resistance. But lately, the resistance is even higher, and then the resistance combined with all of our feelings about everything happening in the world can make it very easy for our dreams to be abandoned. And I'm never going to say, no, ignore the state of the world and just go after your own dreams. But I do believe fully that these are the times when artists need to get to work. And artists, I include anyone who's creating something. So your visionaries, activists, healers, therapists, everyone who has a vision of a better world or a way of helping people have a better future. Like if that's individual or collective, either way, this work is all really needed right now. So I'm always thinking about how do I support people in staying in the process without steamrolling their feelings in the moment, because I'm in those feelings in this moment, in this morning, and I couldn't quite get myself to do the stuff that I had planned to do this morning. And I spent a lot of time thinking about like there's so many different parts of us, right? So I woke up as my like super anxious and overwhelmed, like just full of brain fog and like just not wanting to do anything. Like that's the self that I woke up as. I still have access to my more creative and brave self. I still have access to myself who really listens to my deepest inner wisdom, my connection to my own soul and my own values about what to do. And so it's like I'm in a meeting with these different parts of myself, and some parts of me are trying to get this part of me who is in resistance to just go along and do the thing that we had planned. And I'm always thinking about how are we balancing those, like these horrendous systems of oppression that we live inside in the world. Like we tend to recreate them inside of us. So we may have one part of ourselves that we've just deemed better and we try to let that part always lead, and that isn't coming from the wholeness and the fullness of everything that we are. So on the other hand, do we let our most frightened and small selves run everything in our lives? That does not serve us. So neither really serves us. So how are we bringing like being with everything? I've been having a lot more health problems, especially the last few years. I'm naturally and reasonably overwhelmed by things happening in the world. So I have more hard days than I have before. So I'm looking at it for my own self and looking at it in my work in the Creative Dream Incubator. How am I helping others through it? And to that end, I have like redone a lot of the alchemy meditations that I offer for that work, and I continue to do more on that. And for myself, one of the things is that I decided when I'm feeling that way, I'm gonna when it's possible, sometimes we have to just suck it up and do the things we have to do, of course. When I can, I don't suck it up and do the things, and I embroider. So that's why and that's my experiment that I'm inviting you in to. I'm just gonna sort of talk and think about it, like think out loud, work on my snake head. I am actually already feeling a bit better because I spent, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe doing this, but I was listening to soothing music in noise canceling headphones. That's one of the things that really helps me, like just get back to center. But when we're thinking about that, oh, I want to come back to center, I want to feel good. Hey, I want to feel good. I want everyone to feel good. That's a reasonable wish, dream, hope. But at the same time, insisting that we continue to feel good with rising fascism and just horrendous things happening in the world, and that's not good either, you know? Like, where are we finding the balance of, I'm going to give myself space to process my feelings about what's happening, and I'm not going to get lost in my feelings about what's happening. I'm going to continue to listen, like, to my most creative and alive self about how that part of me wants to do my life. I don't think there's one way to find that balance. You know, I don't think that what works for me is going to work for you. Also have found what works for me one week doesn't work the next week. This is a living thing. Finding that balance is something that we have to keep being with. You know, because if you're not processing any feelings about what's happening, if you're just like, well, I'm just one, like, what can I do anyway? I think you end up kind of out of beat with the world. Like, this is like one of the problems, I think, of modern society. Direct impact of colonialism is that we're so separated, we're so disconnected from Mother Earth, and then we're also disconnected from each other. So the isolation of modern society. And then all the things that we turn to when we feel isolated, and how little that helps. Really listening to yourself and your creativity actually does plug you back in. Because when you're in your wholeness, like the fullness of who you are, like, you're connected to your wisdom and your understanding, and you understand that we're all connected. And it's not that I think knowing that we're all connected is going to solve everything, like if everyone knew that. But it would sure change some of our actions, you know? It would change some of the ways we make decisions. There's a lot of good happening in the world right now too. Like, look at New York City, right? We're seeing how fast things can change, how fast we can say, hey, we're all connected, and we get to care about each other, and we get to arrange our political institutions to be supportive of the people instead of, you know, this bullshit trickle-down economics. You know, it's really weird being my age. I'm 52. All the things I was scared would happen, like when, you know, I was living in a time before we had these huge corporate, I don't even know what you call them these days, like these international conglomerates, and just these huge corporations that end up with so much money that they end up with political power. Like, we didn't have that in the same way when I was younger, but I remember being worried about it because of the way things were, the direction things were going. And it's like, oh, all the things I worried about happening, what we have now is worse. The gap between the most wealthy and everyone else is bigger than I was worried it would be. We have more people living unhoused than I was worried there would be. Like, everything's worse. And so it's just kind of, I mean, it's especially unsettling to have worried about something and then have it be, oh, if only things were just what I worried they'd be, but they're worse. But then there is a part of me that sees the good things happening, like New York, that sees the the magic and beauty and incredibleness of the world. Like, that's us. We had this great comment recently on a co-dreaming call in the Creative Dream Incubator where someone was talking about, like, just really plugging back into that, remembering how beautiful and amazing the world is. And I was just saying, you know, we have to remember, when you're remembering, like, a sunset, a badger, a tree, leaves moving in the wind, like how beautiful and amazing these things are. We have to remember that that's actually you're a part of that. You're just as amazing. You are as incredible as a sunset. You're as cool as a badger. That's what we were talking about on the call. You are as cool as a badger. And it's so, like, we live so disconnected that we forget that. And when we remember that, I think we can remember, like, humans can create incredible societies where we actually support everyone and care about everyone and allow everyone the space to be who they are. And that's where, like, this incredible wave of, like, anti-trans and anti-woman and anti-immigrant, just like anti everything that's not a wealthy white man, right? Anti people with disabilities. Like, there's just this attack. And we know that this is wrong. When we listen to our values, of course. It's so hard to be present and to see what's happening. But when we do, I think what it awakens in us is that knowing that this is wrong. We're meant to live in tune. I mean, the weird thing about humans is we have so much free will, right? So we get to do this. We get to just utterly destroy the only home we have. But we can turn it around. I mean, that's another thing about just, like, being honest. Oh, I'm having a rough day today. I'm just doing my embroidery because it's simple. And I don't know if I have the words for this yet, but I think it speaks to how we can be in a mess one day and the next day we can clean it up, right? Like, we are so incredibly creative, and that when we work together, and there's examples of this everywhere. There's so many there have been and are so many beautiful cultures in this world where people do work together and take care of each other. That always remains possible. So, yeah, I just want to encourage you to acknowledge these are hard times. Acknowledge whatever way it's impacting you can be totally different from how it's impacting me or anything I've talked about. Just really notice that. And if you're in the membership, this is why I made the Hello Day meditation the way I did. It's not pushing you to dream big or be ready to do anything. It's giving some space to sort out your thoughts and feelings. But there's a lot of mindset stuff in there around connecting with your powerful creative self, connecting with that part of you that can make change happen, but doing it in a way that's not like, I'm gonna get out there and make change happen right now. It's like just remembering, oh, that's a part of me too. You know, I talk a lot about how your feelings are valid, right? So your fears are valid, and your anxiety is valid, your overwhelm is valid. People have a lot of shame come up around creative dreaming. These feelings are valid, but your dreams are also valid. When I say your feelings are valid, they're generally not telling you the truth. They're not, like, smart. They don't understand the bigger picture. They're not telling you, like, the story behind the feeling is usually not that valid. The reason why you feel the way you feel is valid given what's happened to you in your life. That's what I mean. But when we think about, like, validating all parts of ourselves, we have to remember that one part of yourself is your brave, visionary, dreamer self. The part of you who understands the unique gifts that you carry. Right? This is your medicine, and we're meant to all contribute our medicine to the world together, and then we can all benefit from it. And we've been disconnected by that, by colonialism, by, like, first European people being forced to convert to Christianity, and then participating in the utter destruction of the rest of the world through colonialism, settler colonialism, and all of its harms. But this isn't who we are. So, as much as we've had hundreds of years of this disconnection, it hasn't succeeded. We can still connect with our souls. We can still remember that we are all connected. We can still find, excavate our medicine from within us and find ways to share it. And we don't do any of that by steamrolling our feelings in the moment. So today, as I feel so resistant, I'm just going to give myself a bit more space. I've done a bunch more on this. I think it looks weird right now, but it's really getting there. We just got to keep showing up in the mess. So what would help you keep showing up no matter how you're feeling? I would love to help you in the Creative Dream Incubator membership or something else, but what are you going to do to hold on to your dreams in all of this? I think that's a really good question to sit with.